Okay, so this is what we're starting out with. This is the galvanized tin sign that I found at Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, it really was just $3.49 over in the craft section. And then, like I said, I just made an SVG cut file. I brought together this font and the little vine at the bottom because I just really like the way that went together. So I like it just like it is, just with the little burlap, and the little piece of burlap came on it. That's just the way it was. But I would like to have some sort of bow just to dress it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take just this wide piece of burlap, something that I just already had on hand here at home, and I'm going to just pleat that in the middle. You can just kind of fold it in two and then bring it down on the sides, and then just take a sewing needle, and I'm not going to tell how many tries it took me to get this thing threaded. My eyesight, I'm going to have to go to the eye doctor soon. It is just getting old. Is just for the birds, y'all. Nah, guess it's better than the alternative. And also, I really can't complain. I don't have any significant health problems or anything like that. It could be a lot worse, and especially now with the COVID still raging, I just feel real blessed that it could be a whole lot worse. So I'm getting off subject, but anyway, you just take that and just sew it and make it, it's drooping a little bit. I may have to trim those edges, but you get the idea. Just kind of sew there in the middle just to pleat it up a little bit, and then you can go ahead and trim your thread with my dull scissors. I need to get some new scissors also. But then I just found this ribbon at Walmart. I actually did this with my grocery pickup order because it was what I could find. I didn't want to have to make another trip to Hobby Lobby, so I'm just going to cut some little strips just in different lengths to just gather up in the middle there. And I'm probably not going to take the time to do all this right now, but did you know that you can take a lighter and just singe the edges of your ribbon, and that's going to keep them from fraying? Now, something like this, you can also catch it on fire. I'm going to try not to do that. Something like this is probably not going to see a lot of wear and tear, but when I was making hair bows for my little wild girl, they were always gonna fray if I didn't do something to keep them from it. So this is what I did to those big old hair bows that I used to put in her hair. Y'all, it was sad because she hated them, but not quite as bad as she hated the little smocked bishop dresses. She'd always clutch her throat and say she was choking about every Sunday morning. So have you been there and done that? My little wild child, she was a mess, and she still is, but in a good way. Cut one more of these and we'll put them all together in a second. Now I think I'm going to get my needle back. I thought I was done with that, but I do want to just sew through all those right quick before we attach them. When I was looking for a needle and thread, I couldn't find my regular sewing box, and so I got out the one that used to be my grandmother's, and I just saw some things that I haven't seen in a while, her thimbles, and there were even some sewing machine needles from her pedal sewing machine that I learned to sew on. And I've got the sewing machines too, 2 of them. I need to get the belt fixed and get those back out and get them to working again. My husband bought me a nice new sewing machine several years ago that I just cannot seem to learn how to operate, and so I think the old treadle machine is much more my speed. I keep saying that maybe if I get to retire one day, I'll learn how to do the other one too, but I don't know. I think I am just not talented when it comes to sewing. I mean, I can do little things like this. I can sew on a button. I can mend a tear maybe, but that's about as far as it goes. I have problems. And I think my bow making skills have slipped some too, but I think just for this particular project we can still pull it off, maybe. I hope. If I can manage to not get stuck. Alright. Yeah, just going to gather that one up just a little bit like I did the piece of burlap. And then I'm going to break out the glue gun. I've got it heating up. So we'll just take, well, let's cut a little piece of this first. And it's not going to take much, so we don't even have to angle this piece because the back's not going to show. So I've got my little trusty glue gun, if I could hang on to the glue sticks, that is. And we're just gonna, I hope you can see well enough. I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue there in the middle, and then glue that down, and then we'll take another dot and see, just lay this long ways on that, just glue that down. And bring it around. Ow. And you can also, if you want to make your bow a little bit fancier, actually I think we will do that. We're going to secure it right now, but then I'll show you something else you can do to make it look a little more polished. Let's put some glue on the back of that burlap and get that stuck down good. Let's see. Yeah, I am faux show rusty with this, but it's okay. We're gonna make it. I've been talking to my kids at the elementary school where I work about persistence and perseverance, and sometimes I have to give myself that little pep talk too. But let me show you what I should have done to make this bow. We can still go back and make it work, but just take the end and just make like a knot, basically just a loose knot, and then we're just gonna glue that to the center and make that look like we just tied it that way, like we're cooking with gas with the bow making, and I am clearly not. But anyway, there's my old dull scissors again. But yeah, just stick that little knot in the middle. And I've got way too much ribbon. I'm being a little bit wasteful tonight, which is also something that I don't like to do. I probably should have thought this out a little bit better or done a trial run, but hey, we're gonna get it. And just carefully watch that hot glue. Ow. And then just trim that off and glue that end down. Get tangled up in my cord. You know, this is relaxing for me to come in after a long day of work and do some little project that I enjoy. What do you like to do to relax? You know, if you have something that relaxes you that you'd like to share, just put it in the comments down there. And I'm just gonna glue this to the edge of the sign because I think that's gonna be the best way to secure this. And I'm putting a lot of glue right there because I want that to be sure and hold. And then just stick it down there. And I'm going to trim up this burlap a little bit. I think if we trim it, it's going to keep it from being kind of saggy. Yeah, metal is a good heat conductor, and that kind of burned, but we're good. It's all good. And I'm just going to cut the burlap up at an angle. There's no rhyme or reason to this. Just trim it however looks good. And then just repeat the same thing on the other side. And you can even buy those, you know, at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or whatever. But I just, like I said, I enjoy making them. And so, y'all, I have cut my string. Look at that. It's all right. It's all good. And here's what we've got. Just a neat little farmhouse sign for $3.50. I'm gonna put another little spot of glue there probably to hold it up. But there you go. And once I get this string that I just cut replaced, we'll be in business. But anyway, there it is. My galvanized tin farmhouse sign, and I'll be back next week with a whole new project. If you have suggestions as to what it should be, leave them in the comments, and I'm going to tell you how to get your SVG file to cut this vinyl for free. If you want to just read the blog post, I'll put it in there, and if you receive my weekly newsletter, that information will be in there as well. So all that will be linked in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.